All right. So, I didn't expect to make another random nuttery video, but I'm being bombarded with stories, and I really don't have any choice. My work never ends. So, let's jump right into it. Now, I talked about this story already. But I don't feel satisfied. Feel like it's incomplete. And I just wanted to highlight or emphasize how disrespectful this is. I mean, I really haven't had to deal with celebrities who dip their feet into the dog attack victim part of the world. Certainly nobody as famous as Shaquille O'Neal. So this is sort of like the first time that I'm seeing this. I didn't know that producer of, what was it, the Power Rangers or whatever. Nobody knew that guy. But everybody knows Shaquille O'Neal. And what a horrible way to kick things off. What a horrible first time. Never get over a first impression. So I just want to say that we should stop this. I'm saying we, celebrities, don't follow in Shaquille's footsteps. Just don't even do it. Y'all read about a child who's been mutilated and they lived and they're in a hospital or something. Leave it alone. Unless you're going to start a petition. Unless you're going to discourage people from at least owning pit bulls. At least owning bully breeds. Vicious, large, vicious, deadly dogs. Really, they're all deadly. Especially when you're talking about kids. If you don't plan on at least doing that, stay home. Let us handle this. Because if you do anything like what Shaq did, all you're doing is harm. I won't even say you're doing more harm than good. All you're doing is harm. This works directly against what I'm trying to do, which is bring attention, real serious attention, to this pandemic. Shaq, what he did only serves to take people's attention away from it. And he knows it. And everybody around him knows it. That his presence only served to hide the problem. Don't look at the problem, look at Shaq. Don't look at the circumstances that made it possible, look at Shaq. And laugh at Shaq. So I don't want to see this happen again. If it does, I'm going to be all on top of it. Very unfortunate that Shaquille, I mean, how in the world, how is that even possible, first of all? How can you read about a story like this, hear about a story like this, and not be genuinely disturbed? Instead, you go and visit this child and you don't feel anything inside you to make you say, you know what? There should be, at least say, hey, people who own pit bulls should have higher premiums, more insurance. Say something, even if it's a worthless statement, something that won't really help. Shaquille said absolutely nothing against the ownership of pit bulls or dogs in general. That almost is embarrassing. It makes you look like you really do have a low IQ. A lot of people already assume that these athletes, they're not that intelligent anyway. Well, Shaq, you just breathed life into that stereotype. Now people wondering, is it really a stereotype? But I digress. Had to go on a quick rant. Shout out to everybody who's able to join me. Right? We got a building full of crusaders, I see. Right? Shout out to all the mods, all the members, all the crusaders. Right? I just wanted to vent briefly on Shaquille one more time. It was just so blatant. It was so blatant. Now, what is this? Oh, stop. Shaq's acts of charity. No, thank you. No, thank you. Because, look, I'm going to say this and I'm going to be done with it. If you care about anybody who is a victim of something, the only logical thing to do is to put research and money behind preventing it. Just like you go visit somebody who's suffering from cancer or whatever. The only logical thing to do is to contribute to the research of cures for cancer. Doesn't that make sense? Doesn't any and everybody with a name, isn't that a part of the process? You go, you feel sorry for somebody who's afflicted with something. You go and contribute to something to help prevent it, to help people who are also victims and things like that. But you see, the dog attack realm is different. It's different. You either going to look like a crusader or you're going to look like a spineless coward. And that is how Shaq, his silence on pit bulls, she was attacked by a pit bull, his overall silence on dogs made him look spineless and weak. So bad that I almost feel sorry for him. If nobody else saw that, Shaq, we saw it. How many of y'all heard of this recent story of this doctor? And shout out to this doctor. I think this surfaced, yesterday? Check this out.
A lifeline for many people, including folks with visual impairment or those prone to seizures. But one Yorkton woman says she was turned away by a physician because of her service dog. Stacey Hine explains.
A physician turned her away because she had a service dog. I wish all doctors did this. You walk in with a mutt, get out. Huh? If you're in the waiting room, you're waiting for a doctor, doctor walks in, you got a mutt with you, he turns around and walks back out. That is what this doctor did. Hats off to this doctor. I hope to find his name.
This is Radar.
Okay, so you need a dog to open a drawer for you? Okay, I'm just asking a question. Is that it? She can't open drawers?
The 3-year-old service dog works with Charlene Izuka, who lives with multiple sclerosis. She says the disease has made her prone to seizures.
I don't know what exactly happens. I just feel completely out of it. I don't really realize my surroundings. He goes and nudges me, or he'll bark at me, and I'll just go and sit down.
This reduces the risk.
Just go and sit down. Okay? Multiple sclerosis. Now, I don't know nothing about this disease. I'm not going to sit here and try to talk like I know about MS. But you heard what she said.
Really realize my surroundings. Feel completely out of it. I don't really.
She feels completely out of it. You know, when she has an attack.
Just feel completely out of it. I don't really realize my surroundings. He goes and nudges me, or he'll bark at me.
Okay. And when the dog sees that she's out of it, and not aware of her surroundings, the dog will nudge her. So you need somebody or something to nudge you when you start to, get spaced out. Okay. Like I said, I don't know nothing about this. It might sound strange, but I just want to be clear about what she's saying.
And I'll just go and sit down.
This reduces
And then after the dog nudges her, she'll just go and sit down. Okay.
the risk of Izuka falling down and hitting her head.
But it is critical that Radar is with me at all times because his job is to keep me safe.
She says people usually understand her need for a service dog, but that...
Okay, what? The dog opens drawers for her. She just had this dog take her house slipper off. Okay. All right, I guess. I mean, does taking off her house slippers, does opening drawers cause her to have an episode? I'm just asking. I don't know. Maybe it does. For someone who views dogs as worthless, I'm just asking the right questions.
wasn't the case when she was trying to find a family doctor. Izuka says one physician she went
So the dog takes her slipper off, she takes it, puts it right back on. Okay.
to turned her away.
Okay, the doctor turned her away. I don't want to distract you. Listen to this.
Trying to find a family doctor. Izuka says one physician she went to turned her away. According to Izuka, the interaction was about a minute long and she did not get the chance to explain.
He is a medical necessity to me. He's an extension of myself. I have his paperwork that states that he is allowed everywhere that the law extends, which includes a doctor's office.
In a statement, the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Saskatchewan says it won't comment on this specific
Listen, nobody care about what your medical condition is. I'm going to just go ahead and say it. Maybe the doctor got a medical condition. Maybe the doctor is allergic. Maybe the doctor has cynophobia. Maybe the doctor's child was mauled by a dog like yours. You think you the victim. No, you probably the victimizer. And you're you're definitely inconsiderate. Just don't parade your mutt into doctor's offices in different places without a care in the world about other people who might have a medical condition. It is what it is. Nobody want to hear your crocodile tears. This doctor could have been anything. Now look, she got a rope tied to this door, so the dog opens the refrigerator door for her. How is this? What does this have to do with having multiple sclerosis and feeling dizzy every now and then? This, I don't know, man. Right now I may be ignorant, but right now, this strikes me as nothing but a facade, so that she can parade this dog around everywhere she goes. That's what it's looking like to me. What does this have to do with an episode where you have multiple sclerosis? What is multiple sclerosis, man? What does that? I thought that infect your bones. I thought that was an issue with bones or tendons or something. Help us out in the chat room if you would, right? But hey, if she says so, let's finish.
Izuka, the interaction was about a minute long and she did not get the chance to explain.
About a minute long. The doctor had heard enough after 1 minute. And hey, a doctor probably picked up some things. Probably heard her, probably saw that this was a facade. It's like, I'm out of here. You come off as dishonest already.
He is a medical necessity to me. He's an extension of myself. I have his paperwork that states that he is allowed everywhere that the law extends, which includes a doctor's office.
In a state,
you know what? Let somebody offer her $1 million to go 1 month without this mutt. I bet you anything she does it. And at the end of that month, she'll be just fine.
The College of Physicians and Surgeons of Saskatchewan says it won't comment on this specific circumstance, but referenced its bylaws and a statement reading in part, a physician is expected to provide service to a person with disability without discrimination. The Human Rights Commission could also not comment on specifics, but says it had a number of complaints involving service animals. According to the Lions Foundation
All right. They had a number of complaints regarding service dogs. So maybe somebody was attacked. Maybe anything could have happened. And they're like, you know what? I'm not dealing with anybody else who brings a dog in here. And these doctors, you never know what they see on a daily basis. They might run across people who they know is a fraud. There may have been 50, 100 fake service dogs in there before this lady. And this visit was the last straw for that doctor. I'm sick of these lying, deceptive people making up excuses. It's starting to look exactly like what it is. A weird lifestyle. It's weird. And people are getting fed up. As somebody pointed out, but as we all know, dog nutters, especially bully breed nutters, they're usually not that bright. They're usually very unstable in some type of way. And that just is what it is. I hate to talk bad about people like that. But this ain't the time to feel sorry for people. The goal here is to get these things out of our society. All right, let's finish this. These dog attacks are getting ridiculous. We're going to get to it. Something needs to be done, and this needs to be taken seriously. We don't need Shaq or any other buffoon coming around here playing hide and seek and buying furniture for the dog attack victims.
Canada Dog Guides, there is no federal standard, but the best way to deal with discrimination is through education.
So in Saskatchewan, I believe the legislation does provide for dogs to be able to have public access.
And for Izuka, she's found a physician she says is willing to learn about her situation and take her on as a patient. Stacy Hine.
Well, so she found another nutter doctor who will accept her. That's how it should be. Maybe you should have warned that doctor beforehand. But like I said, anything could be wrong with that doctor. The doctor could be allergic. Shout out to that doctor. I shared a comment. I sent them a tweet. I said, bravo to the doctor who refused to see the lady with the service dog. I'll be talking about it live today. That doctor has our full support. That's right. That's right. They got a Twitter. They have a Twitter handle. College of Physicians and Surgeons of Saskatchewan. I'm going to go ahead and share that link with the Crusader family here. How y'all doing this fine Tuesday? Sibby BK, right? Handsome X, Atlas, Mr. Payne in the building, Dion, Toxic Paw Print. Hope y'all doing well. Hope your week is going well thus far. There's so much going on, people, as I've said before, that I just don't know where to start. This will be another jumbled, unorganized, random dog nuttery. How many of y'all heard of this very sad story? Now, I sent a tweet to the police department over there in St. Clair County. This is a horrible story. Horrible story, man. And they need to ease up off this child. Teenage boy charged for shooting 13-year-old girl in St. Clair County was trying to thwart a dog attack. This story surfaced 19 hours ago. This was a 15-year-old boy. The dog was coming at him, and he shot it. Boy said the dog was charging or attacking him, according to the sheriff's department. And I believe this boy, because that 13-year-old girl was his friend. They had known each other. And he accidentally shot her trying to shoot this dog. The problem is that, now look at what they charging him. They're like throwing the book at this child. And I don't care what this is, a child. 15 years old. Probably still going through puberty right now. Shot the girl in the upper abdomen. Police initially said it, blah, blah, blah. Look, the attorney's office charged the teen boy with aggravated discharge of a firearm, unlawful use of a firearm, and reckless conduct. St. Clair County's attorney's office. Let me see if they have a social media. This is disgraceful. This is disgraceful. How dare you throw the book? This child shouldn't have felt motivated to protect himself in the first place. Maybe if you hadn't, here, go right here. I think they do have a Twitter account. Is this it? No, I'm gonna say something about this. Yeah. Okay, I don't know. Maybe this is right, maybe this is wrong. I don't think it is. The problem is that the boy felt like his life was in danger. That's the problem. You don't punish a 15-year-old child for defending himself. See, they're going to punish him and they're not going to give any attention to why he was defending himself. And they called it reckless. What was that? Reckless conduct? No, whoever owned that dog and had it in the community was engaged in reckless conduct. This child responded to their reckless conduct. This child was almost a victim of their reckless conduct. As I've been arguing video after video, owning these things is reckless endangerment. Who did the dog try to attack as soon as it broke free? A child. Because they prefer to attack children. So here's a case where yet another child was under attack by a deadly mutant. Tried to defend himself the best way he knew how. He tried to use something that he knew would work. He's probably seen these dogs continue to attack even after being hit with a baseball bat. He's probably seen people try to hit these mutants with a stun gun and fail. And you want to punish him for defending himself? Why? Because he used, a way of defending himself that's sanctioned by the law. Be honest. Some of y'all may have heard of this other story where these people feel terrorized in their community. An elderly couple. And the police told them, if that dog comes back on your property, shoot it. How about that? You thought it was just us or just me that talks about shooting dogs in self-defense? No, these police officers. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to share that story. I have it here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I still have it here. This is a terrible story. They're trying to throw the book at this boy, a 15-year-old boy who shot his friend. He's not happy about that. He's not happy about that. Don't treat him like he wanted to shoot her. Had that dog not been attacking him, he wouldn't have shot the gun at all. So this is very irresponsible. Every adult involved in this case need to be ashamed of themselves. And if anybody finds any contact information for the St. Clair County's attorney, please share this video with them. This is shameful. Let me share a link to this story. How horrible is that, man? Little 15-year-old child under attack. Tries to shoot the dog or shoots his friend, and you gonna throw the book at him. Stop. No shame. And you know what else? It was probably dog nutters who threw the book at him. Ridiculous. Sorry about that, people. I had to take a swig of lemonade. Man, oh man. Boy, boy, boy. This is that story I was telling you about. Look at the subtitle, or the title, We're Scared. Neighbors in Pomona Park rattled by series of dog attacks. The neighbors have started carrying guns and putting up fences to defend themselves against dogs. How about that? I'm not pushing any false propaganda on this channel. Everything I talk about, the basis of my arguments is confirmed in dog attack report after dog attack report. You hear our narrative everywhere.
A series of dog attacks in South Putnam County have neighbors taking measures to protect themselves. One notable attack that has some on heightened alert involves a postal worker, Pam Rock. She was mauled by a pack of dogs last Sunday in Interlaken Estates and died due to her injuries earlier this week. On your side, Zach Wilcox has us live in the newsroom. He's going to talk about those neighbors who were hurt or injured in those attacks. Zach.
Yeah, Destiny, this is just down the road in Putnam County, and they started up putting up fences and carrying guns around their own properties. And the news of last week's deadly dog attack that you just talked about with the postal carrier.
Now, what did I say a few live streams back? I said before I purchase a home, before I move into it, I'm going to build a 10-foot fence. It's going to completely surround my home. Right? I'm going to have it very secure, and I'm going to have my guns. See, I'm being proactive. These people decided to do the same thing I said I'm going to do before I move into the home. They're doing it only after they were under attack. Lucky to be alive. We're not crazy. I'm not crazy. You look around, you will see people who do the same things that we say you should do. Again, these people, this elderly couple has decided to carry guns now.
Just has those folks wishing that more could be done.
I heard the dogs are coming, and time I looked up, they were coming into my yard.
Moments later, Ed Stute found himself in a fight for his life against 4 of his neighbor's dogs. He says they broke through his neighbor's fence and ended up fighting him in his chicken coop.
Come in the backside, but they wouldn't bite me then. They were killing the chickens.
Stute says his neighbor's dogs killed 6 of his chickens.
Neighbor's mutt killed 6 of his chickens. Now, I don't know if this man has a dog himself. As far as I'm aware, he doesn't. I don't know if he's a dog lover himself, but he appears to be some type of farmer. And I suspect that he doesn't own dogs. Okay? And he was in his garden doing his work, minding his business. The dogs ran over. They saw him from afar, ran over to attack him. Why? Behaviorists, veterinarians. Why? Because they were provoked, according to you. You behaviorists, you got to understand, you are under a lot of pressure to prove that. You can say that all you want, that dogs are always attacked. Prove it. It should be very easy for you to prove your point using dog attack reports. It's not easy for you to prove the point. You can't prove the point. But guess what? It's very easy for me to prove my point that they are unprovoked. That should tell you something.
He spent a day in the hospital and 3 weeks out of work recovering from his injuries.
I don't care about the money. I just want something done with the dogs, and animal control and the sheriff's department don't seem like they're doing nothing.
Sheriff department, animal control, he said, don't seem like they're doing nothing. Like I said, they don't want to do nothing. They want you to handle it. They want us to handle it.
Of those agencies responded to the attack. Stute says the dogs were put in a 10-day quarantine, but nothing changed after that. His neighbor, Brandy Cohen...
After he was attacked, the dogs was put into a 10-day quarantine. Now, we've heard that before. Putting a mutt in quarantine. What is that supposed to do? What's the point in doing that? And after the quarantine, the owner got the dogs back.
Cohen's father-in-law was also attacked by the dogs.
It's just insane that we have to sit here and look over our back every single time that we come outside just to make sure the dogs aren't here.
What? Man's best friend, though. They're never provoked. They never attack for no reason. And these are man's best friend. Angels. Harmless angels sent from heaven that are much more humane than human beings. So you're not allowed to talk like this. Nobody's allowed to talk the way these people are talking right now. If that's true. So because we got so many people talking like this, because we got so many stories, all of the, I don't know, maybe thousands of stories I've reported on this channel so far, because of all of this, we have to conclude that dog lovers are liars. And all of this propaganda rhetoric, man's best friend, dogs are family, all this nonsense, it's all, not only is it a lie, but the truth is the exact opposite of what they're preaching. They're not angels, they're devils. They're not man's best friend, they're man's worst enemy. That's irrefutable.
Just to make sure the dogs aren't here.
What does that sound like? What she just said, what does that sound like? Sound like they're being terrorized. That sounds like domestic terrorism. So like I said, dog ownership, dogs in our society is domestic terrorism.
It's just insane that we have to sit here and look over our back every single time that we come outside just to make sure the dogs aren't here.
She says she called animal control again after the recent mail carrier dog attack to see if anything could be done to prevent a similar thing happening to her family.
And as you see, sometimes the kids are in the yard playing. And of course, the dogs would love to attack the kids. That's what dogs do best. Nothing excites dogs more than the sight of children. And that includes babies. They cannot wait to tear your kids and babies' throats out. And you are the ones who pamper these things and act as if they belong in our society.
The response was to shoot the dogs. So, am I supposed to have a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old carry a gun?
The owner of the dogs has a locked fence at the front.
Yeah, see? She made a good point. Listen.
Done to prevent a similar thing happening to her family.
The response was to shoot the dogs.
Okay, they suggested that they shoot the dogs.
So, am I supposed to have a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old carry a gun?
And that's the thing. You got kids out in the yard, they go run and whatever. In order for you to really protect them, you got to be out there running right along with them. Only take a few seconds, dog come out of nowhere and attack them. So what? The kid's supposed to carry a gun now? Again, that confirms my point that I've been saying over and over and over. There's no such thing as a responsible dog owner, and that the only true solution is to remove them from society. With dogs in our society, you're going to have things like this. Now, look, these people should have been on high alert like this before the attack happened. You are supposed to view your community as a war zone when you know dogs are in that community. And if you're not, you're delusional. And you're going to be unprepared when an attack happens.
The dogs has a locked fence at the front of his property, so I wasn't able to get in touch with him. Stute has started carrying a gun on his own property in addition to building a fence to try to keep the dogs away. He's also contacted a lawyer to get something done before something worse happens.
We're scared. I'm scared for his kids. They're little. They got them, he'd have killed them.
I reached out to the Putnam County Sheriff's Office. A spokesperson couldn't speak to this situation specifically.
Now, wait a minute. At some point, this man said, I shouldn't have to carry a gun on my own property. And that's the truth. He got to carry a gun in his own backyard to defend his life. And that is because of these pro-dog laws that we have in place. And they need to be changed. Dogs need to be banned. As simple as that. There's no alternative. There's no training that needs to be done. There's no awareness. You nutters always want to talk about, oh, we just need to bring more awareness and all this kind of stuff. Awareness that they need to be removed from society. That's the only thing people need to be aware of. Aware of how dangerous they are. There's another story surfaced yesterday. The story I just shared before this, I believe it surfaced yesterday. Again, these nuttery videos is all recent news, and if it's not, I will point it out.
Dog attack this month. A physically challenged Richton man is now back home recovering with his family. And tonight they're opening up about the frightening encounter and reminding pet owners about the dangers of an unsecured animal.
Oh, as always, use the word pet instead of dog. Use the word animals instead of dog. But he said that they're warning people about the dangers of having them unsecured. In other words, letting them roam out in the free world like all the other animals. When you let dogs out in the world like that, somebody's going to get attacked, because dogs don't behave like animals, because they are true mutants. True mutants. And I have to point that out because a big part of the problem is people who view dogs as normal, natural, a part of nature. No, they're not. We're not supposed to be living in constant terror like this. We're not supposed to. The only time we might have an animal attacking us, charging at us, is if we don't know that we've stumbled upon that animal's nest. If we trespass on their territory, they're protecting their young. Aside from that, they're not going to bother us. Dog behavior is not normal. You shouldn't have to restrain them all the time. They should be able to walk freely off leash and be totally peaceful, just like all the other animals of the earth do.
Covered from head to toe in dog bites.
I was hurt. Seeing my child lay there in blood. And
the family of Tim Scarborough is counting their blessings he's still alive today after the attack just a few weeks ago.
The dog pulled him off his bike
and drug.
Unprovoked. Now this is a mentally challenged person riding his bike. You know he didn't provoke these dogs. He's like mentally disabled. Riding his bike, the dogs attack, pull him off of the bike. Okay? Another unprovoked attack. They're all unprovoked. All of them.
Took him down the street. Almost lost his ears. He had ear surgery at Forest General, and he was in the hospital for about 3 days.
Being a fighter is nothing new for Tim, who had 2 strokes before his first birthday.
You know what, people? You know what these behaviors really afraid of? Because, you know, and it's going to happen sooner than later, where I invite people, while I interview people. And I'm going to try to interview these behaviorists. And when they come onto the show, I'm going to put on this screen their own words that were written in some article where they're talking about dogs never attack unprovoked. Dogs always have a reason when they attack. I want those behaviors. I want to interview those behaviorists and veterinarians. And then I want to ask them to provide evidence. I want to hear some reports, news coverage, whatever. If you say that this is how it is, that they're always provoked and they never attack unprovoked, prove it. Just a simple challenge like that is far too much for these people. There's no way they're going to even try to substantiate that argument.
For 44 years now, he's defied obstacles.
The bicycle keeps him walking.
On wheels, he's one of the most recognizable faces in the town of Richton.
Everybody knows him, and he'll be sitting out on the porch and everybody holler, hey Tim, pass by.
Because of his injuries, Tim's tricycle has been parked, and folks here haven't seen him much lately.
Be careful riding that bike, though.
Until now.
Good brother.
So now he got to be careful riding his bike. Domestic terrorism. That's all it is. That is all it is. Now, I didn't really read this article here, but the title grabbed my attention. It says government must tackle issue of aggressive animals. And you all know what animal they're talking about. You see what I mean? They don't want to single out dogs. They don't want to make dogs look like a public health hazard, which is actually what they are. Safety hazard. Government must tackle issues of aggressive dogs. Good. But as you can see, as soon as you start to read, an animal advocate believes successful governments have failed to deal with aggressive animals, and owners of dogs that attack people should be held accountable. How funny is that? An animal advocate believes successful governments have failed to deal with aggressive animals, and owners of dogs that attack people should be held accountable. What other animal you talking about, man? What's this other mysterious animal y'all keep talking about? Yeah, they're only talking about dogs, so talk about dogs. Stop with these word games and word salad. Trying to deceive people. And this is a lengthy. Oh, it's not lengthy. Oh, it's not. This is in the Bahamas. Bahamas Humane Society. President is the one who actually said this. What is it? Kim Arana. She might get in trouble. She might get in trouble for this. The other humane societies might get on her case about this. She spoke to the media outlet after a dog attack. She fears this latest attack will be swept under the rug. Listen to that. She fears the attack will be swept under the rug. She said, until we make people responsible for their own dogs, Yeah, they wrote for their own animals, it's never going to stop. Because if they do pick up the dogs, there you go, and they take them to the pound and they put them to sleep, the owner doesn't care. Of course, the owner just get another dog. They don't care. That's not a punishment. Even these goofy fines, that's not a punishment. But I say they should be banned. Because you're still going to suffer an attack. If you allow dogs to be legal, people still going to get attacked. People still going to lose their offspring. People's kids getting mutilated. I don't want to hear nothing about a fine that the owner is going to have to pay when my child's face is hanging off. So did I share that? I'm sorry if I didn't share that. I think I forgot to share that that article. Right, but I'm going to go ahead and share this one. Well, this is crazy. These people are crazy. And it just don't stop. This article surfaced today. Just a few hours ago. 8-year-old boy in serious condition after dog attack. You see what I mean? Shaq, all you others. Don't come over here pretending. It's real over here. Don't come over here trying to look for attention. 8-year-old boy is searching for a stray dog, a stray Rottweiler. What? The Rottweiler attacked this boy. Y'all see what that say? Attacked an 8-year-old boy while playing. Once again, the boy was playing. Probably didn't even know the dog was there, was around, and was attacked. When are we going to stumble across these stories where a child actually provoked a dog? Or anybody actually provoked them? Even when they attack adults, you never hear about the dog being provoked. Man, but their experts say they're always provoked. So, okay. Boy was admitted, blah, said the boy no longer in critical condition, right? That's good. A neighbor intervened to save the child, called an ambulance. That's good. Police being wild. Probably a Rottweiler, which is a bully breed. The dog has blood on its head and body. Okay. June. Okay, they had another one. Now, where is this? Where is this? Okay. Ios. I have no idea how to pronounce this. But if any of you live in this area, be on the lookout for a Rottweiler roaming through the neighborhood. The dog is aggressive, and citizens are called upon to inform, okay, what is going on? Where is this? Let me Google this. I'm sorry. I'm too curious right now. I have to find out where this is. What is this, in Europe? Cyprus? Okay. It's in Cyprus. Let me check out a map here. Okay, let me zoom out. Okay. Sorry about that, people. I like geography. And I hate to hear of a place and I don't know where it is. Okay, yeah, Cyprus. All right. Boy, oh boy. Any and everywhere you find dogs, you find attacks. Camden dog killer sentenced to jail after he killed his girlfriend's dog. A recent guilty plea to a third-degree animal cruelty charge had a judge in New Jersey sentenced this man to 3 years in state prison after he killed his girlfriend's Yorkshire Terrier puppy. He got sentenced to 3 years in prison. While these owners of dogs, bully breeds at that, attack children, their own and other people's children, and nothing happens to them. Nothing at all. Oftentimes, nothing happens to the dog. The dog goes to a shelter, is taken to a different state, adopted out to someone else, sent to a no-kill shelter. They feel like they can run some tests and rejuvenate it, make it safe. But you kill a dog, you go into prison for years. Right? Enough said. There's no way to deny that. Dogs are protected. They're a protected class of organisms. And they shouldn't be. They should be held up to more scrutiny. Shouldn't be trusted at all. What is this? Pit bull owner charged with horrific attack on Prosser mother and son in their own yard. This story surfaced on the 19th, right? This is not that recent. On the 19th of this month, right? Right, 10 days or so, 15 days ago or so. Okay, check this out. Hey, good for them. You see what? And they need to do this in every article. Y'all see that? They shared the dog attack statistics. More than 4.5 million Americans bitten by dogs each year. Uh-oh. Then you see what they wrote. Here's some recommendations for protecting yourself if you're attacked by a dog. Uh-oh. You already know. Is this a video? Uh-oh. Let's listen.
The dog was actually trying to go for my throat. What I thought at the time was this is how I was going to die.
Getting bitten by a dog happens more often than you might think.
That's not a bite. This woman was not simply bitten. She was shredded. She had her face shredded.
More than 4.5 million Americans are bitten by dogs each year.
Okay. Hey, good on you. That's good. Bravo for at least doing that. There's a lot more to do after just sharing the statistics. This should be standard.
Children are the most likely to be bitten, followed by senior citizens.
Yeah, say that. This is what they all should say. You got no time to play games. Put this information out there.
Animal experts say breed has little to do with whether a dog will attack or not.
No, nobody asked. Nobody made that argument. You see what I mean, people? How they always try to frame the narrative. Let's rewind that. I hate deceptive people like this.
Citizens. Animal experts say breed has little to do with whether a dog will attack or not.
No, but when we bring up breed, we're not talking about the likelihood of the dog attacking. Nobody care about that. Again, don't let these people frame the narrative. Nobody is having a problem with how often pit bulls bite compared to other dogs. It is always a case of how severe the attack is, how difficult it is to put a stop to the attack. We've seen videos where multiple adults are unable to stop an attack. It's the severity of the attack that people have a problem with, and they can't deny that. That's why they tiptoe around it and say, oh, breed has little to do with whether or not a dog will attack. You know what? People like anti-dog people, They've been intimidated by these dog nutters when they make statements. That's what's been happening. And that's why they've been able to have pit bull bans removed. That's how they've gained so much traction. They've been able to prance around saying, oh, breed has nothing to do with how often the dog will bite. Here, look at these statistics that show that pit bulls don't bite any more often than other dogs. But they dare not share statistics and information, doctor confessions on the severity of the attacks and how unlikely it is to put an end to the attack. If you got, with most dogs, if you got 3-4 adults, they can put an end to the attack. And for the most part, most dogs don't attack long enough for there to be required 3-4 adults. The attack will last 10 seconds, 30 seconds. Significant damage done, and those dogs should be banned as well. But don't try to argue there's no difference between pit bulls and other dogs. You pit bull nutters, you act very arrogant and confident. I see you on Facebook. You're always trying to talk like you know what you're talking about. Come on to this show. Come on to this show. Let's have a discussion between you and us. Let's see what happens.
It has more to do with the dog's own history and behavior.
Has more. See how deceptive that is? Has more to do with the dog's history or behavior. Well, guess what? Pit bull's behavior is associated with the breed. Its breed influences its behavior. It's because it's a pit bull that it's easier to trigger, less likely to give warning signs, far less likely to put a stop to the attack before fatality. What are you talking about? You nutters, you pit nutters, y'all don't have no argument at all. It's embarrassing, man.
Or not. It has more to do with the dog's own history and behavior. You can take some steps to reduce
their behavior is unpredictable. Its behavior is irrelevant. Almost all the stories we've covered of a dog attack involve a dog that had previously never shown aggression. There are enough reports like that specify these things have never shown aggression for us to conclude that previous behavior of the dog is irrelevant. You cannot use its harmless history as evidence that it'll never attack in the future.
The likelihood you will get bitten, but if you do get attacked, here's what you can do. First, if you have something to put between you and the dog, like a purse, use it. If you end up on the ground, curl up with your head tucked in and cover your ears and neck with your hands. When you can get to a safe place, do it. Then tend to any wounds.
What? So in other words, just hope that you don't get killed. And during the attack, try your best to get away. If you fall, ball up. But don't you dare strike that dog. Don't you dare shoot that dog. That's basically what they're saying. Because it's a sin to hurt a dog. That's why they're just telling you to take it. Accept the attack. Take it. This is the fact. I'm not whipping up propaganda to infuriate people. The thing is, when people simply reflect on these facts, they become infuriated. And they're less likely to accept an attack like this. And that's how it should be. A person with no tolerance for dog aggression could neutralize the threat before that mutt got to their child. This could save lives. And I hope it does.
According to the CDC, up to 18% of dog bites become infected with bacteria. So you want to make sure you wash well with soap and water.
That's another big thing. That's another huge thing. When most people are attacked and They were attacked by a bully breed where the bully breed clamped down and shook. Those people usually get some type of infection. All that bacteria in these mutts' saliva. And that's why they need their limbs amputated. Just add that on to all the other hazards that dogs present. They're far too dangerous. They are incompatible around our babies. As simple as that. There's no way to have them exist among us in a safe way. So stop it.
Minor bites may only require an antibiotic cream and a bandage, but more major wounds may require applying pressure with a cloth to stop the bleeding or seeking medical attention.
See, I don't like this either, showing this child just with a little faint scratch and all this. No, we need the real deal. Right now, I think I'm operating with Windows 10. I have a HP. I got Windows 10. And I'm trying my best to use Windows Movie Maker 2.0. I want to use that specific version, Windows Movie Maker 2.0, because I've mastered that Movie Maker. I've mastered it. And this new version of Windows Movie Maker is far too confusing. I can't use that, man. When I get back to making real videos, I'm making this documentary. And if I don't do nothing else, it'll be like a Talking Heads documentary where I interview people, hopefully. And if I can't interview them, I'll just share what they've said, because there are plenty of doctors who have said plenty enough. But this documentary has to be made, and some of the more gruesome images have to be shown. They have to be shown. People need to get a realistic understanding of what's going on out here. Don't try to put lipstick on it with little scenes like this.
An antibiotic cream and a bandage, but more major wounds may require applying pressure with a cloth to stop the bleeding or seeking medical attention. Watch for any changes like redness or swelling. If you don't know...
Okay. Let's just sum this up. You're not going to tell people to shoot that worthless mutt like the law says we can do. You're not going to suggest to anybody that they pull out a shank and gut this mutant. Stab the mutant in the neck. Puncture its jugular. Bleed it. Kill it. Y'all never suggest that as a way to protect yourself from a dog attack. People, you have that option. I don't know how good you are with weapons, but if you're very good, use the weapon. So I don't like the stories, the sound, the idea of innocent bystanders getting hit. I don't like it. But if you're out in the open, you know nobody's around, yes, go ahead and pop that mutt. But use your weapon. Don't run. Don't turn your back. Don't run. Be as aggressive as you possibly can until you get your weapon ready and go to work. Horrible stuff. Attacked in their own yard. This is reality we live in, where every time we step out our front door, we have to be on the lookout, because it only takes a few seconds for these things to be right in front of you. Just a few seconds. That's the kind of world we're living in. And you see the reports, you see the news reports, you see how often it happens. This is really not something that's rare. I've shared 2 stories already of dogs trying to attack me just walking out to my car. The Rottweiler. I walked out the front door. That's how it happens, people. You gotta take this serious. This surfaced yesterday. Woman got attacked, had to be flown to a hospital. Where was this? Skyline Medical Center in Nashville, Tennessee. All right. And always keep in mind, we're just getting a small fraction of the dog attacks that actually take place. Now, somebody shared this story with me in the chat room, I think, or in the comment section, where this nutter, I guess it was a nutter, broke into a shelter and released 500, almost 500, not 500, 150 dogs. Just released them. For what? For what? This nutter just get off on knowing that the public is now in danger? Why would you do that? Just release, and it's a shelter. So you know most of the dogs in there are bully breeds. He broke through the roof and just started opening cages. Wow. I told y'all, a lot of these nutters, they get off on seeing people terrorized, in danger, afraid. They get off on it. You got some sick people in this world. Apparently, some of them make our laws. How about that? How crazy is that? Why did I save this? Over 20 emaciated dogs. Yeah. Nobody feels sorry for these mutts. Spare me. Why'd I save this? I don't want to hear about this. It is more proof that these people don't care about these mutants. The whole dog thing just needs to stop. Everything that surrounds dogs is extreme. Y'all ever notice that? Nothing is mild. Dogs don't have a mild impact on anything. When it comes to safety, being a physical threat, they're deadly. When it comes to health, they're deadly. The parasites, germs, bacteria, they contaminate our air. That's not minor. They say they found traces of excrement in the air that we breathe. That's major. Water contaminant. Why is dog excrement the number one contaminant of our water and our air? That's extreme. And you can say the soil. Number one contaminant. Even though, like I said, other animals defecate in the outside as well. Why does the dog excrement stand out so much? It's because these are disgusting, disease-ridden mutants. That's why. That's why. Their dander is more toxic. Their urine is more toxic. This is fact. Only dog urine kills plant life. Their excrement is more toxic. Their saliva is more toxic. These are facts. There is no justifying the presence of these things. None at all. So I don't care about no emaciated mutts. Shouldn't be wasting our resources on these mutants to begin with. Neighbor's vicious letter threatening to kill a barking dog lands on the wrong doorstep. And this was based on a Reddit post. As some people pointed out how pathetic it is where you write entire articles about a forum or post on Reddit. So this guy was letting his dog bark nonstop, incessantly, as they always do. And some people got fed up. Left them a letter Like, hey, shut your dog up or we're going to shut it up. And we're going to shut it up for good. Well, they left the letter to the wrong person because this person was not a dog owner. And they just want to highlight the fact that he gave the note to the wrong person. How about you highlight the fact that they were even forced to do that? These nutters, they feel entitled and they feel like everybody needs to just accept their barking dog. And that's just not how it goes. That's not how it goes. Most of these people are very uncivilized. When you find a person who just lets their dog bark incessantly, people, you're dealing with a very low life, trashy individual. You're dealing with the scum of the earth individual. It requires a real filthy, gutter, ghetto mentality to allow your dog to bark incessantly like that. You have no manners, no class, no decency, no nothing. And with those types of people, you have to take control of the situation. These people probably didn't want to get aggressive. But because your laws let these people run wild and do whatever they want, you cater to them. You create this sense of entitlement that they have. Essentially, you, the lawmakers, are to blame for people leaving notes like this. Quite sure this person tried to call the police and the dog warden. And as always, they don't do nothing. Absolutely worthless. How many of y'all seen this? This video's sort of gone viral on Twitter, social media. Look at this. This guy's a delivery driver. I guess some type of food delivery. Look at this. Dog just turned around and tried to attack him. Okay? Now, what did he do to provoke it? You see, this guy standing there at that elevator like that is a bona fide nutter who really wanted to do that. They wanted somebody to, as soon as the door opens, they wanted them to see a dog standing there right in front of their face so they can get off on seeing them startled. Those are the types of people we have in this world. They know dogs are a weapon and they get off on scaring people, sending people into fight or flight mode, which could actually give someone a heart attack, raise your blood pressure. And not only that, this nutter had that dog on a leash. What have I always said? Leashes are worthless. The answer is not to put the dog on a leash. That's not going to make anybody safe. How worthless or effective was this leash? The dog was on the leash. Why didn't this nutter prevent the dog from reaching this man? Now, if this man was armed with something, he probably could have shanked that mutt and bled it right there. He would have been well within his rights to do so. But the man did not provoke that dog. The dog was not provoked. They're never provoked. And I'm tired of seeing people victimized. Tired of the freedom that these things get to attack us. all because you nasty lunatics are laying up with these things, treating them like lovers, family, and all this type of nonsense. Now, what in the world is this? People, I put this information together. It took me about 20 minutes to put all these stories together.
After she was mauled, 11-year-old Rachel Bagwandine will be remembered as a hero, saving her 8-year-old brother Jalon and instead succumbing to her injuries sustained after she was mauled by a relative's dog. Ina Carter has more in this report.
11-year-old girl killed. She's trying to protect her brother from a dog attack. She'll be remembered as a hero. Where is this? Trinidad and Tobago. I think it was Trinidad and Tobago. The Caribbean islands. This surfaced 5 days ago. Okay. But you see how they tried to turn it into a hero story. As always. That's protocol. But even in different countries, they've picked up on how to report these stories. Let's make it about a hero. No. It's about how important it is to ban these things. To ban bully breeds. Right now. There's no debate that needs to be had. No discussion. No panels. No votes. When it comes to bully breeds, they need to be banned right now. There's no excuse. No excuse whatsoever. Ban these German Shepherds while you at it. You see how this German Shepherd behaved? Ban all these large dogs while you at it. All of them. Because once these bully breeds are gone, people are going to see how important it is to get rid of the other large dogs as well. Worthless creatures, mutants. They are not animals, don't behave like animals. Nothing about them is animal-like other than the fact that they're not human. They don't think like animals. They don't do nothing like our natural animals of the earth. And they don't behave or interact with human beings like true animals. The dog culture is to attack human beings for no reason, on sight, attack. And for that, because of that, they should be exterminated. Exterminated. And I shouldn't have to waste energy trying to convince anybody of this. Shout out to everybody able to join me for this 36th edition of Random Dog Nuttery. I really enjoy doing these series. Kodiak in the building, sunny day. Big shout out to you all. Charles D. Curry. Big shout out to Charles D. Curry. Big shout out to Keamo A in the super chat. Big shout out to you. As always, shout out to all the Crusaders. Nutter is isn't nutter a funny word? It rolls off the tongue so easy. These nutters, and they're mad about that. They're mad, but they don't like to be called nutters. But that's what they are. Then it feels so good. It feels so good to see new people find the channel and they talk about how comfortable it is and they can't believe they found this. That's the biggest treat, man. To see people find a home for what they've been thinking for so many years. It's real bad because a lot of these people, they start to feel guilty. They start to feel like there's something wrong with them. You know, if they start to reflect on how they dislike dogs. I used to do it. Even when I was a kid, which shows you how programmed people are. When I was a kid, y'all remember I told that story where I beat that mutt, tried to take my pork chop. Man, I beat this mutt, and then I felt guilty. I went in the backyard. I prayed to God to remove this hatred for dogs, to take it out of me. It never happened. It never happened. That's because these are our natural enemies. And everything about their existence is annoying, contaminating. They're worthless. They don't offer us anything of note. There's nothing that's truly valuable that dogs offer us. All the disservice and the negative things that they provide far outweigh any little petty, worthless. And that's why they're bending over backwards to project dogs as if dogs are like medicine, as if we need dogs. But we're all over that narrative too. Nothing that they're trying to pull actually works. And when I get people on the show, I'm going to go through these articles and I'm going to find these people, these researchers who put out this information about dogs as being relaxing and all this kind of stuff. No, I'm going to bring you on. Prove it. Substantiate that argument. This stuff need to be dealt with head on. The lies they're putting out here. Because you got people with real degrees who's, a so-called expert. You should expect to be challenged. Especially when you're talking about people's lives. Dog attacks. You're talking about people's lives. You should expect to be challenged. And hey, if you cannot defend these arguments, then retract them. Retract all of them and put the truth out here. Shar Muchi in the building. Good to see you. We hate dogs. I heard we hate dogs. My apologies if I'm incorrect about this, but I heard We Hate Dogs has re-uploaded some of his content. Be sure to check out his channel as well. K-Nun in the building. Eye of the Needle in the building. Toxic Paw Print. Alien Drone Services in the building. Big shout out to Alien Drone and everybody who leave information. There's a lot more information just in the comment sections of my channel. I could just gather those up and do a live stream on those. Like I said, and I want to do it, and I will. I've done it before in the past. Just made a video going over people's comment. There's a whole wealth of information in the comment section, man. Do not overlook the comment section. Serena and anybody else I may have forgotten. Hope you all have a wonderful Tuesday and rest of this week. Stay ready. Keep an eye out for these bloodthirsty mutants. Stay clean, sanitized, and I hope to see you all back here again on the next live stream as we continue with this crusade.